What up? It's your man back in the building again. Chucky B, aka the Gypsy, aka the Happy Hatter, aka Mr. Make You Smile. All right, back to talk again. Like I said, drop a comment, drop a like, drop a dislike. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. All right. Also, subscribe to the channel if you like what's happening. I'm gonna keep doing this thing. I'm having a good time doing it. It's fun. So hey, let's get into it. All right. First of all, my hat today is the old school Kango. The LL Cool J used to wear these joints back in the day. That was my dude back in the day, LL. Shout out. I gotta give my shout outs to all the rappers that I've been around. Shout out to Jigga Man. Shout out to my man MC Search, of course. Shout out to Search. Shout out to my man Grandmaster D. We used to kick it hard in Atlanta back in the day. All right. Shout out to him as well. But yeah, I'm wearing this hat today. Like I listen to the radio and listen to the television, and I start coming up with questions. Okay, so my question today for today's show, we're gonna call it, is does today's music have an effect on society? And I asked that question because I'm listening to the radio, Ricky Smiley show. I don't normally listen to Ricky Smiley, but I was listening to him today, and he was talking about the song "Old Town Road" by the young fella that wore the Wranglers and got a deal for wrangling. People was mad about him getting a deal for wrangling. He came out and said he was gay. Little Nas X. Nas X is his name. Okay, so I guess it was a kid with autism that couldn't speak or wouldn't speak, and what got him out of his shell was singing this song, which was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember years ago, in rap, it was more of a positive, like Public Enemy, KRS One, Tribe Called Quest, the Goody Mob. They were putting out like a lot of positive music, and I ain't got nothing against the rappers that, put out the shoot 'em up music. If that's how you got to make your money, that's how you make your living. As long as people realize that it's fantasy, that you're not going out here shooting nobody up. You know what I'm saying? But I think that I don't think you can blame the artists for the music that they make. I think you have to blame the record companies for putting that music out. So I think the artists are going to do what makes them money. Period. You have some guys that still stick to the script. Like I've never heard KRS One or Rakim change, what they put out, or the type of music that they put out. But is today's music affecting society? Because it seems like society's just gone plumb crazy. But that's my question. My opinion is I think society does. I mean, I think music does have an effect on some of the kids. I think they listen to the music and think that it's some type of reality, and they try to do what the music says. So I think there needs to be, some put out some more positive music. Like you hear the Percocet and all that taking, like that's cool to take that stuff. Somebody might think, well, hey, what's Percocet? Let me try that out. Let me try this sipping on this syrup or whatever it is. Pour the cough syrup in the Sprite, let me shake it up and drink. Let me try that. So you hear that on the radio. But I don't think you can blame the artists. You have to blame the record companies for allowing this mess to get out. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to call it mess, or allowing this, because the artists, like I said, are only going to do what the record companies allow them to do. So if the record companies want to make them become more creative and put out more positive stuff, then I think the artists will do that. All right. Next thing, man. So Jerry Jones said that Zeke, it wasn't a holdout, that that Zeke was just late to camp. All right, well, Zeke is in Cabo. So Zeke is in Cabo. So this is a holdout, Jerry. I talked about this before. This is a holdout, Jerry. You still know what I'm saying? So Zeke is in Cabo. The only thing I say for Zeke is make sure you're working out, because if they do decide to get a deal done, you're going to come and be pressed back into service. And usually what happens with these athletes that hold out, they come back, pull a hamstring, get hurt some kind of way, because they're behind as far as the training goes. Now you're going to be behind as far as the training goes because you're not going to be getting the same training on your own that these guys are getting as a group. So my only advice to Zeke, make sure you're working out, partner. We don't want you coming in there. Even though I'm not a Cowboy fan, I don't want you to come in there and get hurt. I want you to get your money because I think that football players deserve to get paid. I think football players deserve guaranteed contracts, which they don't get. So Zeke, while you're in Cabo, be working out on the beach, all right? Next thing, NFL says they're going to tighten up on the holding calls. Okay. Now, I remember years ago somebody saying they could call holding on every play. So now, that's like the NBA tightening up on the traveling. I mean, we'll see how it works out. I think they'll experiment with this during the preseason, but the whole goal of these professional sports, baseball, basketball, football, even tennis, they are trying to get the games done with as fast as possible. So, like for example, in baseball, they now have, I believe it's a 30-second clock or 20-second clock. I forget how much time, but like a 20-second clock or 20 or 30-second clock where the pitcher has to get a pitch off. You got to pitch before that thing gets to zero. In basketball, the same thing. They let a lot of things go. They let guys play a little more to try to get the game. They want the game to keep flowing, and they don't want to be on more than 2.5 hours. Sometimes it happens if it's overtime, but same thing in football. If they do decide to tighten up on the holding in football, what's going to happen is these games are going to be super long. So I think what they're going to do is experiment with it in the preseason and go back and reevaluate that situation. But if they're going to tighten up on the holding calls, that's going to be a mess. All right, next thing. Wow, the hate for LeBron, man. I just don't get it. The guy's a good father. Never been in trouble that I know of. I think the worst thing I've heard is when he was on the sideline one time at a Cleveland Browns game and he had like a fur coat on, like a white fur coat on. People were up in arms about that, and they were mad at him in Cleveland for a second because he was a Yankee fan. He had on the Yankee hat or something like that at the same time. So to tell you what, to keep you or to update you. So LeBron's son is playing in AAU game. So they got a warm-up line. So LeBron is in the warm-up line and he's dunking with the kids. So a lot of people are screaming, saying, he made it about him and, stay on the sideline. I even heard one of the women on ESPN talking about that. But Stan Verrett tried to check her real quick. She was saying how, why are you out there, this, that, and other. So Stan was like, well, look, if he wasn't in his son's life, people would be saying, why you ain't in your son's life? So, but at the end, he just kind of decided, I'm not going to fight this fight. He was like, all right, well, look, okay. He just kind of let it go. But why all the hate for LeBron? It's okay to not like a player, but it's like everything the guy does, man. Like people just hate the guy. I like LeBron. I think LeBron is a great player. I think he's been a great dad. I think he's done some phenomenal things off the court. With the school, during the school, he does a bike giveaway every year in Akron, where he's from. And they never cover that. They never cover the good stuff that he does. He's been a guy that has spoken out against, like the racial injustices that have gone on, like with Eric Garner. He spoke out against that. He spoke out about Trayvon Martin, which a lot of athletes don't do. A lot of athletes don't do. A lot of athletes, they speak out, which is strange to me, though. You can speak out and then people don't want to deal with you. You know, don't want to give you that money. The sponsorship money. That's just strange to me. But I think LeBron is big enough to where he can say what he want to say. There's certain guys that can say what they want to say, and it's not going to affect them. It's not going to affect them at all. I think LeBron is one. I think Michael Jordan is one. I think Magic Johnson is one that can speak out um, against racial injustice and things like that, and nothing happened. Not nothing, but if few people decide they're not going to deal with them, it's not going to affect them. But LeBron is the only one. I think Magic has done a little bit. Michael is the only one that has never really, he doesn't want to step in that area. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do that, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. If you're not built for it, if you don't feel like you built for it, don't do it. All right. Last thing I'm gonna talk about before I sign off. This is the Dan Lebitard part of my show that I'm gonna dedicate a part of my show every day to Dan Lebitard. All right. Dan Lebitard, spoke out against Trump, and ESPN sort of disciplined him about it. I'm sure they had a closed door meeting where they told him, like, look, you can't do that. We got a lot of listeners or viewers or whatever. But I don't have a lot of listeners or viewers. So I can say what the heck I want to say. So here we go. Okay. So Donald Trump attacks Al Sharpton, and he attacked Elijah Cummings about Baltimore. And says how he's the least racist person that you will ever meet. That's a lie. We know Donald Trump has been horrible. He talks about all that he's done for the black community, my African Americans. You know what I'm saying? He's attacked Elijah Cummings about Baltimore, but then you say how much you've done for the black community. If you've done so much for the black community, then why are you calling Baltimore rat infested and how it smells in Baltimore? And now his cronies are pulling up the rear, and repeating everything he's saying, which is a bunch of baloney. It's a lie. I've been to Baltimore. If you want to see some nasty stuff, go down to that deep south, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana area. Go down there. Go into the mountains of West Virginia. Go through there. Drive through there one time, and you want to see something nasty. You know what I'm saying? So for him to attack Sharpton and to attack Elijah Cummings, and then in the same breath say you're the least racist person, when all you've been doing is attacking people of color. You've also attacked white men as well, but you've only attacked the white men that have disagreed with you. Whatever happened to Jeff Corker? The dude from Tennessee. Jeff Corker agreed with him, so he went off on Corker. He went off on Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney still wanted to meet with him about a position. Like, man, get out of here, man. So this is my suggestion. Don't impeach the guy. Don't impeach him. That's gonna take us into 2020, and that he's gonna find a way to use that to his advantage. So let him finish his term, and let's vote him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because then we can get back to business of living together and trying to get along, and all his supporters can crawl back in the hole where they were, which they've all of a sudden come out, but they can go crawl in the hole and they can keep their racist thoughts to themselves, because it won't be cool to spew that stuff. All right, because we're not trying to hear that. America is we're in 2019, and we're still dealing with stuff from the 60s and 50s from back in the day. We're still dealing with stuff, and a lot of stuff has been rehashed. So America has a very bad past. They have a very bad past. So the only way to get through that past is to talk about it and deal with it. And that's something like Mitch McConnell, those guys don't want to do. Mitch McConnell says, like, okay, you had a black president, so we don't need to give you reparations. We made up for that's like us saying I'm sorry for slavery. No, it's not, man. No, it's not. So, my advice is, look, strap in, because it's gonna be a bumpy last year and a half. So strap in, and let's get through this together, and then we can get back to the business of loving one another and living life to the fullest. All right. that's it for me, man. I'm signing out. You know, like I said, like I do every time, you know, be nice, make somebody smile. You know, that's what you can do. That's your job every day is to make somebody smile. If you make somebody smile, you're doing your job. All right. So, signing out, Chucky B, aka the Gypsy, aka the Happy Hatter, aka Mr. Make You Smile. All right. So y'all be good. Have a blessed day. All right. Peace.